Hello there, mathletes. Welcome back to Math Jamboree. In this video, we have another AP pre-calculus type of a question from the topic of equivalent representations of polynomial and rational expressions. Let's solve it together. Let f of x equals x squared plus x minus 6 over x squared minus x minus 6. Which of the following is true? The graph has holds at 3, x equals 3 and x equals negative 2. Choice B is indicating that the graph has a hole at x equals 3 and the vertical asymptote at x is negative 2. The graph has a vertical asymptote at x equals 3 and x equals negative 2. The graph has no holes or vertical asymptotes. So this is a kind of like unique question. Normally, if you will factor, if these two expressions would be different, numerator and denominator, you would go ahead and factor it out, numerators and denominators separately. So if you will factor this out, this is x times x, and this is 3 times 2. And when you multiply 3 by 2, you're supposed to get negative 6. And by adding, you're supposed to get negative 1. That's why one of them has to be negative, and negative 3 will be negative. So this can be written as x minus 3 times x plus 2. When you make it equal to 0, you would say I have x equals 3 and x equals negative 2. Since this is in the denominator, you would say these would have a vertical asymptote at these points. However, since we have exactly the same thing on the numerator, so we have f of x squared plus x. Actually, it's not exactly the same thing. When you look at it, looking at it at first, I thought it was the same thing in the numerator and denominator. No, in the numerator we have x squared plus x minus 6. So let's factor this out. X and x, and 3 and 2. This time 2 is negative. I was trying to change the color of the pen. So this becomes x plus 3 times x minus 2. So f of x can be rewritten as then x plus 3 times x minus 2 over x minus 3 times x plus 2. So by looking at this, we to talk about the vertical asymptotes, we're going to check the denominator section right here. So by making it equal 0 on the bottom, so the x will be equals 3, the x will be equals negative 2. So in these points, and the graph will have the vertical asymptotes. Do I have any holes? No. To have a hole, you need to have same exactly if this expressions to cancel it out. So you could have negative x minus 3 in the numerator, so that you would have talked about the holes. So in this case, we have vertical asymptote at x equals 3 and x equals negative 2. So because of that, the choice C will be the correct answer for this specific question. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have questions or comments, you can always leave it below there. Thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye.